The protests, by the way, are a sign of the growing concern over many of President Trump's new policies. Let's discuss this with our next guest. Republican Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee is joining us. She was also the Trump transition team's vice chair. Congresswoman, thanks very much for joining us.
Sure, good to be with you. Thank you.
Let me quickly get your reaction to these various protests happening around the country right now. When you see some of the pictures, what is your reaction on this President's Day? We're seeing these anti-Trump protesters emerge.
Well, what we know is that we're celebrating every president that has served our nation, who has stepped up and has offered themselves for service. So I would hope that they would celebrate all of our presidents and what they have contributed. And it's free speech. If they want to peaceably assemble, that is a right that they have. When it begins to cost extra for cities and counties or is a burden, then, they need to work with those entities. And I haven't seen any of the protests today. I've been out working, so.
You got your hands full. All right, let's talk a little bit about free speech. While I have you, a sensitive issue, the president recently tweeted that the news media here in the United States, the press is the, quote, enemy of the American people. I want you to listen to what some Republican senators, John McCain, Lindsey Graham, had to say about those words from the president.
If you want to preserve democracy as we know it, you have to have a free and many times adversarial press. And without it, I'm afraid that we would lose so much of our individual liberties over time. That's how dictators get started.
The backbone of democracy is a free press and an independent judiciary, and they're worth fighting and dying for.
Well, Congresswoman, do you agree with the president that the elements of the mainstream media here in the United States are the enemy of the American people?
I think that many times the opinion-based journalism, where individuals are putting their opinion into what they're reporting, is what frustrates a lot of people, Wolf.
But let me interrupt, Congresswoman, let me interrupt for a second. But even if people in the press are expressing opinions, whether on the left or the right, weigh out opinions, does that make them enemies of the American people?
I think that what it does is to cause people to have to look for different sources for getting their information. And we see a lot of people, whether it's from the left or the right, who say, I just want somebody to report the news. That's why they end up watching C-SPAN. But I do think it's important for us to have a press that is a free and open press. We know that they're not always going to agree with us. You and I can have great debates and remain cordial, but have different opinions on things. And Wolf, I think that that's an important aspect that we preserve for the people to have access to.
I don't disagree with you, Congresswoman. I'm just wondering the language, the words that the president uttered about the media being the enemy of the American people. Those are strong words, and I assume you don't want to be associated with words like that, do you?
What I want to do is make certain that I do my best, and the president is going to have his opinions. I'm going to agree with him many times. There are times I'm not going to agree with him, but I think it is important that news be reported factually. I think it is important that reporters and anchors be well informed, and I think it is part of my responsibility to also make certain that when I give information that I have properly sourced that information, and then individuals can make up their own mind as to where they are on an issue. I would be uncomfortable thinking someone was always with me or either always against me. And I think that in this era of protest and in this era of opinions on the air, what we have to realize, our nation has been very well served by a robust two-party system that allows for a solid and respectful debate on the issues that are before us. I hope that in this time of unrest that we don't lose that, or that we don't lose sight of that.
No, nothing that you said any of us could disagree with. We all want a robust, free press where a lot of ideas are out there. We want it to be factual.
Sure.
We want it to be well-sourced and all of that. The only question I've been hitting you with is these words from the president, which are so disturbing: enemy of the American people. And I don't hear you saying, you disagree with him, but I don't hear you saying that he went too far, way too far. These are dangerous words.
I would not say he went too far. It would not be my choice of words. It would not be how I would have expressed frustration with the press. I do understand that there are so many people that feel like they only get opinions from certain news programs or certain anchors or certain networks, and they seek out sources and shows, that are going to allow them to have a little bit of give and take. Somebody who will help them think through issues and where they are on things, because we've got a lot of issues on the plate. We're trying to deal with tax reform. We're trying to deal with Obamacare, which is imploding as we speak. We have the president who is still trying to get his cabinet filled out. We're a month into this administration, and the Senate still has not filled out that cabinet. So it is important that we do continue that debate, and I think also that it's important that we have those that are on the other side in the Senate that will not be obstructionist, but will move forward in good faith and allow this president to get his cabinet in place so that both chambers, the House and the Senate, can work with the administration to do our job.
The beauty of a free press, the beauty of our democracy, is that there are a lot of views out there, and people are able to express those views and not necessarily be branded as a result of that, whether on the left or the right, enemies of the American people. All right, Congresswoman, we're going to continue these conversations down the road. Marsha Blackburn joining us. Thanks very much.
Good to be with you. Thank you.